Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Ambassador Chas Freeman joins us now. Ambassador, a pleasure, my dear friend, no matter what we're talking about. Thank you very much for your time and a belated happy birthday to you, young man. I want to talk to you about the laws of war and what is a just war, but many questions before we get there. Do you accept the explanation that is now making the rounds for the origins of this war, that Prime Minister Netanyahu called up the president and said, we're going in on Saturday with you or without you, so you better support us? Or do you believe that they agreed months ago back in Mar-a-Lago, right before New Year's Eve, that they would attack together when they both agreed the time was right?
No, they agreed on December 29 to launch this war. There was an interesting, rather silly discussion that led up to the Saturday attack, in which some people in Washington argued that we should persuade Israel to go first so that we could claim that we were fighting a defensive war. That morphed into the new argument. Well, we knew Israel was going to go. Of course we did, because we were part of the conspiracy. We knew Israel was going to go, and therefore we had to preemptively prevent the Iranians from a reprisal against Israel. That is transparent nonsense and really has no persuasive power anywhere, except apparently among some diehard Trumpists in the Republican Party.
What is your big picture analysis now after 4 days of this war with respect to its origins, prudence, and goals?
So it is only 4 days into this. It's going to be a long war. There are, I think our military very correctly warned President Trump, first privately and then through leaks in the press, that there was no assurance whatsoever that we would be able to bring Iran to its knees before running out of ammunition and taking heavy casualties. So, I mean, Iran basically was faced by Israel and by us with an existential threat. And even a rat will fight tooth and nail if cornered. So the result of this is that we are in a war that is not limited. We would like to have it be limited, but it is not limited, and it is expanding as we speak. So there are a series of interesting developments. Prime Minister Netanyahu has come out and chortled with glee that finally I persuaded my great friend Donald Trump to do what I've been trying to do for 40 years. What is he trying to do? He is trying to destroy Iran. That is why Iran is now attempting to destroy Israel. And the gloves have come off. There's no respect on either side for the norms of international law or conduct. Our secretary, a self-styled Secretary of War, says that there is no respect for what he calls so-called international institutions, and that there are no restrictions of any sort on rules of engagement, on what we can and can't do. This is a pretty good definition of barbarism. I know you wanted to talk about what is and isn't a just war. One characteristic of a just war is that it is respectful of human life. It does not casually engage in collateral damage of the sort we saw this war begin with, a girls' school in Minab in southern Iran, 160 dead girls, and no remorse, no apology, no nothing. So we're in a war that is going to go on for a while, and Iran has a clear strategy. We don't. We have a campaign plan. The campaign plan is destroy this, destroy that, weaken this, weaken that. And the stated objectives vary from day to day. There's no clear war termination plan. What would constitute success is not defined. The Iranians, on the other hand, have a strategy. Their strategy is, first of all, to, as I mentioned, retaliate in such a way that Israel suffers the fate that Israel intends to mete out to Iran. Second, it is striking at neighboring countries that have allowed American bases to be established on their territory. The purpose of those bases is not to defend those countries, as was said when they were established, but to enable and facilitate American power projection in the region against Iran and against any other enemies of Israel. And finally, we have a constitutional crisis in the United States. Nothing new in a sense, but we have a president who believes that consulting with Netanyahu, the prime minister of a foreign country, is a perfect substitute for consulting with Congress, as the Constitution requires. And that Netanyahu's authorization justifies this war. We also have a president who appears to be more concerned, at least rhetorically, about the freedom of Iranians than he is about the freedom of Americans. And it's really rather anomalous to see a war being fought in the name of freedom when our freedoms at home are being oppressed. So I'll end here.
Over the weekend, there were reports that the administration reached out to a third party, the Foreign Ministry of Italy, and asked the Italian government, which has no beef with the Iranian government, to ask the Iranian government if they were interested in a ceasefire. Now, the Trump administration obviously doesn't admit that it made this call. The reports were all over Western press in Europe, not here. If this call was made, what would that tell you?
It would tell me that there are some intelligent people in the administration who understand that we have made a huge mistake. I note that President Trump has claimed that the Iranians want to talk to him, and he's willing to talk to them. That is not what the Iranians are saying. They are saying that two instances of negotiation with the United States, where the